Has free speech in the UK been silenced? In this video, Graham and Sam Armstrong, political consultant at the Free Speech Union, explore a new US State Department report on free speech in the UK. We'll also discuss the leadership principle of freedom, what leaders must say and do to uphold it, and how it shapes your rights of freedom to say and do what you believe. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
J.D. Vance is a great supporter of freedom of speech, and he, I think, said it to Keir Starmer when he was in the White House, that he was a bit worried about it. And Starmer, of course, has repeatedly tried to claim that, we've got plenty of free speech in Britain, we've had it for hundreds of years. He's lying, though, isn't he? Because, once again, he's not telling the truth. We don't have free speech in this country.
Yeah, he can claim what he likes, but since he's got into office, he's busily gone about sending the cops after anybody that's expressed a view that dissents from his worldview, whether that's on Twitter, whether that's on WhatsApp groups with other parents, or whether that's now on the internet, which Keir Starmer and his Science and Technology Minister, Peter Kyle, seem to want to police from top to bottom. And, you've got to ask why, because this is hugely expensive and it is now manifesting itself into the next stage, which is turning the UK into a literal international pariah. These foreign warnings are usually reserved for China or Iran or Russia, but instead he's turning the UK into a joke. And the only reason I can ascertain for why he might be doing this is to suck up to a certain constituency in this country that he feels will be encouraged by him going after the free speech of those with common sense views and encouraged by not standing up for British Jews.
Yeah. Well, and is this all about, as well, their kind of obsession, if you like, and I'm told that they're still chasing it down, with trying to identify what Islamophobia is and trying to give a definition of what Islamophobia is so they can actually stop us from even discussing certain parts of one particular religion?
Yeah, well, let's be clear. Keir Starmer, by the end of this year, has set about coming up with a new blasphemy law for this country, and it's only going to apply to one religion, Islam, and you simply will not be able to criticise Islam in this country if the Prime Minister, and indeed his Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, get their way. And I can tell you, because I've spoken to people who were there with him this week, J.D. Vance was very, very, very concerned to hear that the UK was pushing ahead with an Islamophobia definition. And if we do, I really think that our trading relationships, our military alliance with the US is in jeopardy. They are not mucking around here. They are really concerned that the UK, which for centuries has been a beacon of freedom, the home of freedom of speech, is being dragged down into the status of a kind of tin pot dictatorship.
Yeah. Because it's not clear, really, in many ways and in many parts of this country, what it is that you can be arrested for, right? I mean, I have these conversations on a pretty much regular basis, right? I was listening to Ian Collins yesterday talking about facial recognition and how important that's going to be in the future for police work, right? But also how dangerous it's going to be, because the police can invent a new crime, which may or may not be a crime until you face justice for it, but which they think is something they can arrest you for. And if they recognise your face, they can literally just take you off the streets.
Yeah, and it's getting worse every day. I mean, I was in Margate on Tuesday, where the local Labour Council, and dozens of local Labour councils have done this, have introduced a ban on swearing, have introduced a ban on humiliating people. So if your show, Mike, was broadcast... If your show was broadcast from Margate and you had some numpty lefty come on and make a fool of himself and you humiliated him, you'd be up before the beaks and be given £100 fine. Right. This is a Labour Party that seems to be absolutely determined to set the parameters for what is and isn't acceptable conversation in the country.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Let's have a look at what Starmer said to Donald Trump when he was in Scotland just the other week.
I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular, perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that.
He's such a... I can't say the word, I'm going to get in trouble, but he just talks absolute cobblers, doesn't he? We're very proud of it. He's not proud of it. He's locked people up for saying things.
Free speech has been safe in this country for the best part of 500-600 years. Yeah. It was right up until the inhabitants of 10 Downing Street changed to Keir Starmer, in which he used all of his knowledge, all of his experience that he developed as Director of Public Prosecutions last year to clear 500 people out of prison, to move in people that posted tweets, Facebook posts, messages on social media. And at the Free Speech Union, we've represented 3,500 people that have found themselves sacked, found themselves facing police action, found themselves hauled before the courts for expressing their free speech. And time again, it's speech in one direction and one direction only.
America's free speech was under attack during the Biden presidency. That administration suppressed opponents by censoring their social media posts and even freezing their bank accounts. This failure to uphold the leadership principle of freedom, where leaders must say and do what protects every citizen's right to speak and act freely, shows how quickly the rights of freedom can be eroded. Recently, Keir Starmer met with President Trump and claimed the UK has no free speech problem. That's far from the truth. Most Brits know free speech is under attack. The left often shuts down voices they dislike, labeling truth as disinformation or misinformation to justify censorship. If you speak out, you risk being silenced. The US State Department's recent report confirms this, citing credible evidence of serious free speech restrictions in the UK, including cases motivated by accusation of antisemitism. This reflects a failure of leadership to embrace the principle of freedom, which demands protecting the rights of freedom for all, regardless of controversial views. Leaders must tell the truth and welcome criticism. If you are a leader who can't handle pushback, you're in the wrong role. The leadership principle of freedom means standing up for the rights and justice of the people, not enforcing speech controls. Britain needs leaders who champion free speech as the cornerstone of democracy. When free speech is under attack, tyranny looms. The rights of freedom to think, choose, and speak are not granted by a generous government or the United Nations. They are God-given, inherent to being human. As a leader, you must say and do what protects free speech, ensuring the rights of freedom thrive so democracy endures. Free speech is a right, not a privilege. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe free speech is under attack in Britain? If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.